I think we're having those wins, not just because of the celebrity. Obviously that's an element, but it's because the product's great. I think if you have the celebrity and the marketing and you have the firepower, you'll go up, but what goes up will come down. If you want to sustain it, you have to have the product.
Welcome to another episode of 2000% Raise. We are live from my condo in Hollywood, set up nice here today. And before I bring out our first guest, I'm just going to kind of reflect as an early investor and venture capitalist, what I've really learned the last few years when I entered this space, okay? Understand, first of all, that I'm only in this space because I retired from insurance. I built an insurance company and sold it and decided, okay, now I want to get into some interesting shit. I don't want to do insurance again. I made money there. Let's enjoy life. Let's get into some, stuff that's fun. And part of that journey has brought me into brands and companies that have been founded by celebrities or athletes. And it's been kind of cool. You're this guy from Chicago and you're selling insurance 5 years ago and now you're rubbing elbows with Aaron Rodgers and other stars, okay? But what I've also learned along the way is that certain celebrities, okay, especially athletes I've found this with, want to be around successful business people as much as us normal folks want to be around them, and it's just a weird dynamic that I didn't believe even existed at first until I got to know more and more people. And, I say all this because my guest today has just made me reflect on this. He's an actor. He's a model. He's been in a bunch of shit. He has a cool accent. He's also, I don't know if you'd categorize yourself, Oliver, as an angel investor, would you?
Yeah, for sure. Angel investors. I mean, I've invested in a bunch of companies. I think we just dive in straight in.
Oliver Trevena, welcome to 2000% Raise.
This is it. I am here. It is live. He was telling the truth. We are in his condo, and that's it.
Yeah. So, let's just tell the audience how we met. I get involved. And
he's going to tell you a different story. It was Match.com, exactly. But I'll let him go off on a different tangent.
It was actually Bumble BFF.
Yeah.
That could be a good segue into our conversation, though, Oliver. And you don't even know this, okay? I'm involved in a company with a gentleman named Ryan Rotman called OSDB, and Ryan's an actor, and he's been.
I've known Ryan for like 20 years.
Oh, you know Ryan?
Yeah.
Oh, dude. So
Ryan came to my mum's like 60th in England, and we did like a 2-day trip to France, and I was just with him 3 days ago.
Shut the hell
with
up.
my mum and dad. Yeah, dude, I've known Ryan. We go way back.
This is exactly what I'm about to talk about.
And I know what you're doing with ODSB, and it's amazing. Yeah,
bro. Yeah. And these circles just collide so quickly, right? So here's what's funny. I get involved with this deal with Ryan with OSDB, and one of the reasons I got involved was because Ryan was smart enough to get Aaron Rodgers involved too, because he's building this. I don't want to spend too much time on what he's doing, but pretty fucking cool. Well, then I get involved with Aaron, who's business partners with Nate Raby, who has this venture capital fund called RX3. Well, shit, we're here in our condo. We had an opening. I give Nate a call. Hey, man, you know your people. He's friends with a lot of celebrities and all this shit. Hey, and you think anyone wants to be on the podcast? And he hooks me up now with Oliver. It's pretty fucking cool, Oliver. It's pretty fucking cool how the circles just collide that fast.
It's good. I find that like LA, especially as a city, when you're in the city and you're doing something, you're actually like taking action and making moves.
Yeah.
The circles get smaller. You surround yourself with good people and people that think the same and have the same work ethic. And, Nate's one of those. I mean, he's down in Orange County, which is somewhat of a different world. But Nate and I clicked, a few years ago, and I'm an advisor with RX3 now. And him and Aaron personally came in on Caliwater, which is my beverage brand that I have with Vanessa Hudgens.
Yep.
It's all intertwined. Yeah.
Well, and here's what's funny too. You brought up the Vanessa Hudgens from high school. Well, she's been a bunch of shit, but High School Musical fame.
One of your favorites.
Hey, one of my favorite. Here was my biggest celebrity encounter story. The first time I came out here, Ryan Rotman takes me out on the town, and he's best buds with freaking Zac Efron.
Yeah.
So, dude, I'm sitting here telling my kids, dude, I'm fucking partying with Zac Efron right now. What'd you do last night?
So
you know what I mean?
funny.
It's pretty freaking cool. So here I am, business partners with Zac. He's involved as an early investor. Your partners with Vanessa, but Caliwater is more than just early investing. You guys are the actual founders, correct?
Yeah, so Vanessa and I are the founders. And then to date, we've kind of turned down pretty much all financial money or institutions or family offices. We've raised it all through talent and friends. So everyone, I would say we have about 32 pretty big names on the cap table. They're all invested. They're all part of it. They're all like, if we're talking to a retailer and I need a video from Gerard Butler, he does the video, and that's where we're seeing a lot of success, because I think people are kind of mind blown at the power that we have behind this brand. I mean, literally Gerard Butler, Aaron Rodgers, Ryan Tedder, Glenn Powell, Frank Grillo, Mike Coulter, Greg Sulkin, Brooke Burke, Claudia Gadelha from the UFC, Cody Bellinger from the Dodgers, or not the Dodgers anymore. He's moved to the Cubs. We have athletes, and I think that's the thing, is it's been so exciting because people love the brand. They love the beverage. They love the drink. And they love what we're doing with it, and that's just been a ripple effect.
So whose brainchild was it? Let's start there.
It was look, the honest story is a friend of mine that had an idea to do something. I got involved, and then me and Vanessa were like, long story short, we're like, we should do this together. She's California born, I'm not.
You're not?
It's called, a lot of people always think I'm either from Cali or Texas. But no, so it just, the authenticity was there, and she's literally been, she's been like a ride or die friend in this city. We've known each other for like 15 years. And yeah, we were, we never planned on like, let's do business together. But this came across our path and happened, and it's been organic, and it's been a great ride. I mean, she's not a founder or a face of a brand from a back seat. Like, she's so involved. It's kind of crazy. I mean, we've just had the new flavor tastings, and she's particular. It's like, fix this. We want this to be a little less sweet. Change this a bit. I don't like this flavor. Every logo, we have a new pineapple flavor dropping this summer, and even just around the logo, I'm colorblind, so half that shit I'm like, it looks good to me. It looks fine. She's so involved on on a daily basis, which I think separates us to a lot of those celebrity brands out there, which I'm sure it's like they attach their name and then they step away. So
and that's where I was going to we kind of jumped. That's where I was originally going to go with my question. I love your input there. So let me ask you this, man. So I'm involved in about 30 different deals right now. 3 of them are beverages. All right. One of them, Soul Juice, which is a Korean pear juice. It's fucking awesome, by the way. Kickstand Cocktails, Darren Rovell founded, and then also Johnny Damon has an energy drink called A Game. I'm involved in all 3 of those at some level. Darren Rovell put it to me best. He said, it's 1% the product. You have to have the product, the 1% of the product. The other 99% is navigating all this fucking bullshit out there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Would you agree with that characterization?
100%. And look, with this brand, and it is my baby or our baby, we did not want it to be a celebrity brand in the way that you forget about the product. Like, our product is amazing, and that's what blows people's mind. Like, it tastes great. There's a flavor that everyone loves, whether you give it to a 4-year-old or a 70-year-old. And literally, that's the truth. I mean, we have kids pouches coming out this summer because kids have been going crazy for it, and it's the healthiest drink a kid could have. I mean, it's got the prickly pear fruit is such an incredible benefit for the human body. You got digestion, immunity, hydration, skin. It's a sustainable product. So it ticks all the boxes, but it also tastes great. And our flavoring, is amazing. It also works insanely well as a mixer. So people are buying it, at Bevmo, and we're doing like cocktails at places like, Isabel's and the Cara Hotel. And now we're doing like MGM and Aria and Bellagio. And people are, using it as what, Red Bull used to be back in the day. You get your bottle of tequila and you do, pour Caliwater over, and you've got less of a hangover because it's got hydration. You've got all natural sugars and organics. So you're making a healthy cocktail at the table. We just did a huge launch in Boston with a company called Big Night Live out there, a big hospitality group. All their restaurants and bars, and it's flying. And that's where I think we're having those wins, not just because of the celebrity. Obviously that's an element, but it's because the product's great. I think if you have the celebrity and the marketing and you have the firepower, you'll go up. What goes up will come down. If you want to sustain it, you have to have the product. And I think that's where, I know that's where, we have a long path ahead of us because we focus so much on the product. And then the talent, really help us. And a lot, to be honest, behind the scenes, because it's the, the retailers, the people like that, when doing a video for Target and you've got Gerard and Glenn Powell and, you know, all these people saying what's up to Target and saying, why have you, you know, put Caliwater in Target, it hits pretty hard, you know? And Vanessa's on at every single retail Zoom and she's talking to the retailers and she's showing up. She's doing meet and greets at the stores, you know?
Well, I saw your Instagram page. She's all over it. She's
all over it. No, we're in this one for the win. And that's the difference. Like we've all gone all in and we're like, we're gonna make this brand win. And that's the difference.
And you can tell the difference even just talking to you, right? So I'm in a couple different deals with celebrities that are on the founder's side of the table, but they weren't really the founders. They were kind of brought in. Yeah, they're showing up to all the events and whatever, but you could kind of feel like this isn't like their freaking baby. Right. Talking to you right now, you feel it.
Oh yeah, it's mine. And you know, it's a funny story. I've got my folks in town at the moment, and they're staying at my house, and I have Caliwater in my fridge because I genuinely love it. But it's so weird because I remember making these first cans. There was a co-packer in Camarillo we were using. And it's a nightmare to make a beverage because there's these minimums and you have to you know, if you're not ordering a million cans, they don't want to work with you. And I remember they did me like a favor and I think I paid about $5 a can, but I made 20 cans. And I guarded these cans with my life. Like I was like, unless it was a real conversation or a possibility, no one was drinking that drink.
Getting them out.
And still in my head, I see my dad go into the fridge to grab a can and I'm about to stop him. And I don't realize like, oh, it's everywhere now. You can drink it. You can drink it. You're fine.
That's awesome.
But no, it's something, you know, I truly, truly believe in. And I love it. Like it's a great drink, and I'm blessed to have a great business partner with Vanessa. I mean, she makes it all more enjoyable and fun and successful. You know.
Yeah. Well, it's a tough space to thrive in, man, to succeed in. So it sounds like you guys are doing stuff already. And you said something really critical there, man. You said the product has to speak for itself. The celebrity stuff's only going to get you so far, man. If it's a commodity, like. We see it right now with marijuana. Marijuana's everywhere. Okay, this guy's name's on it, that guy's name it. And we'll see. Give it 10 years. Let's see if that's still around or not. You know, the best ones will be. And the ones that were moderate, they're not going to keep smoking that shit, dude. I don't care whose name on it, if it fucking sucks.
They try it once, right? They try it once.
Yeah, it's a novelty.
In my eyes, a celebrity will influence you to try something once. The product is what's going to make you go back. And that's why, like, you know, so many things, whether it's restaurants or bars that are celebrity owned, like people go there, they have dinner, they take a photo there, they've been once, they come back if the food's good. If the food's not good, they've got their photo, they got the proof they were there, that's gone on their social media once, and then it's done. So I think it's about, like, you know, playing the long game and making it so, you know, I say like, and obviously, like, I'm in this world, I'm an actor myself, but I can honestly say we add toppings to the cake. We're not the cake. The cake is so important, which is the product, the people, the team you have, and then business leaders. Like I'm the first person to say, like, stay in your lane. There's a lot I don't know, and I'm not going to try and run this company. We have a great president.
Gotcha.
And I tell him, you tell me what to do. You tell me what you need, because I think too many people, especially celebrity, you know, owners, will try and, you know, micromanage their company when they're in a lane they don't know. You know.
Hey everybody, I want to invite you to check out 2000%raised.com. Here you could buy the 2000% Raised book, also available on Amazon. You could check out 2000% Raised merchandise, as well as 2000% Raised special events that might be coming to your city soon. Last but not least, you can enroll in the 2000% Raised curriculum, which will help you on your entrepreneurial journey. Don't forget to follow at John Cerasani on Instagram and TikTok as well. Thank you for being a supporter of the show. You now are in your 40s, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Or 30 plus tax.
Me too. Let me know if this is too personal or not, but I know, okay, you're doing this. I know you're an early investor in Dog Pound. We'll talk about anything else you might be in. Did your acting career monetarily put you in a position to take risks in the angel? No, it did not. Okay.
I mean,
but now I will say, though, the 40-something thing, the remark was, you had mentioned to me before we were on the air here, you're on the cover of Men's Fitness. It's quite the fucking accomplishment for a 40-year-old.
Yeah, it's good.
Or was it the 40-plus issue?
No, I'm 42. I'm 42. I just turned 42.
Yeah.
So, I mean, look, it's been an I think all of our journeys, like, if you persist and push long enough, you're going to have an interesting story of how you got there, right? I mean, I grew up in entertainment. I'm the youngest of 4 boys, small town south of London. And I was the odd kid that was, into this world of theater and dance. I moved to the States and I actually fell into TV presenting. So I did a show called Young Hollywood. I did the American Music Awards pre-shows, the billboards, you know, a lot of that stuff for Dick Clark Productions. I did a show for the Hollywood Reporter, and I just, you know, it was going great, and I did well, but I always wanted to take a gamble on my acting again. So about 5-6 years ago, you know, I took that gamble, got a new team, and started to go out and audition, which was weird because I had a regular job, you know, forever. And it's paid off, and I've been working ever since. But already before making that jump, I'd got involved in business. There was a UK brand called All Saints, and I was a massive fan of the brand. And
All Saints, the
clothing line, yeah.
Okay.
So they were launching in the US, and they made me their ambassador.
Are they still around?
Still around, yeah. I've got shares in the company, and we're still growing it massively now.
Because the one on Michigan Avenue in Chicago, I believe closed.
We closed a few of them during COVID.
Okay.
But a lot of them, like, we didn't close them, so to speak. We just moved the leases around.
Gotcha.
You know?
Half of Michigan Avenue closed.
There you go.
Post-COVID,
yeah, it's like the one we had on Robertson. People were like, oh, you closed All Saints? We're like, no, we're closing Robertson because that street's dead now.
Yeah,
you know, and we moved it up the street. You know, so
that's almost in Chicago. We're closing because you guys don't arrest rioters. That's why we're fucking closing.
There's no foot traffic because the landlords of the streets kill it. No, so I got involved in that company, and I found myself just, you know, I could never really just be an outsider. So I got a lot more involved in the content, the production, the collaborations, the marketing, and I just really loved growing a brand, you know, seeing it go from a UK brand to a global brand. We have stores in Asia now. We have them all over the world. Mexico, you know, Latin America, everything.
Dude, that's so exciting, man, that you're with these, like, I'm in a bunch of early stage stuff, man. But none of them have the name recognition yet as the All Saints of the world, you know? And I just fucking look at it. It's like, okay, in 5 fucking years, are one of these going to be household names or quasi-household names? Are we going to be looking to do an IPO? You know what I mean?
But that's
you just don't
the
fucking
excitement,
know.
right? And that's why, like, for me, people ask what I invest in, and I guess, look, there's a lot more risk in startups, but there's a lot more like excitement and reward. You can play it safe, and you can get your 5% gain and invest in a company that we just know is, you know, doing this. But I love people, and I love new products, and I love that kind of startup excitement that comes with it. And I love believing in people the same as people believed in me. You know, when you sit with a founder, there's an ice cream brand I just invested in called Holi Scoops. And the two founders, Camille and Jenna, they're incredible. And, you know, that was it. It was the founders and the product. And that's for me is what I do. There's a red light company I'm a partner in. Jake Cruz, the founder, is just one of the most, you know, hardworking people I know. And he was so ahead of this red light movement that's happening now. We started this company like 4 years ago, and it's going through the roof. But it wasn't. You know, it was a couple of years of like, I remember I was involved, and I'll be like, hey, you know, you have to try this red light. What's red light? But it's now having a moment. And that was a gamble, because health and wellness is tricky as well, because I mean, I'm into it. So I you know, maybe sometimes I believe the hype a little bit too much, and I'll be taking like adaptogens in my coffee and mushroom this and whatever else. But it has a moment and then it disappears. So it could have been the same for red light, but it didn't happen that way. And now it's, you know, now it's going really well, and that's exciting. But ultimately, there's a real excitement when you meet someone and they have a product that you believe in, but you also believe in them as well. You know?
I love that you just said that about red light, man. I just bought a couple dozen territories of a light sauna franchise, and it's an emerging
We need to get you some Vital Red Light. It's amazing. Do you talk about Zach? Zach just picked up some last week.
Is that right? Okay. You know, and you're betting on concepts like that. Okay, is this going to get bigger than it is right now? It's been around, but is it about to explode, or has it already hit its peak? And because you try to get in that franchise space, and you go try to find 10 Orange Theories right now. You're not going to find the territories. They're all taken.
Totally.
So you got one that's not already there. Is it going to be Orange Theory in 10 years? You know what I mean?
But also investing in things you love. Like, you know, if you go through my portfolio, you know, obviously Dog Pound, that happened because I was actually hosting the Grammys pre-show, and I was training at Dog Pound in New York, and I was like, I love this place. Let's make this bigger. You know, let's bring it to LA. And we opened LA on my birthday a few years ago now, and it's been a wild ride.
Do you feel like from hosting the awards shows, you running around doing that, you're a high profile, well-connected guy? Is that like...
For sure. I mean, I did it for so long. I met, you know, I interviewed, I don't know, 10, 12,000 people over the years. So you kind of meet a lot of people, you know.
So when people see you walking up, they like are prim and proper. You know, they look at you as like the guy on the red carpet. That's
or they just walk the other way. No, I'm kidding. No, it's fun, you know. But yeah, I would say going back to the investment piece, investing in things you love. You know, there's a place right up the street, Next Health, that I invested in. I was an early one of that, like 4 or 5 years ago. The company's doing insanely well.
Nice.
And for the same reason, I loved going there. I was going there anyway. You know, I might as well put my money into something that I'm spending on anyway and have a piece of it should it go well, you know? As everything I'm involved in, All Saints is, you know, pretty much all I wear, you know, or John Varvatos. We acquired John Varvatos as well.
And when you get involved, do you typically get advisor shares on top of your regular investment?
It's kind of different with each deal. And at the moment, see, I never like to take something if I can't deliver.
Gotcha.
And my bandwidth is pretty slim. That I'm more interested in just putting money in, and then like if I can help, great, but it's not on me to do so much, you know, because I felt myself, you know, last year was a real year for me of like, I was getting so much of what I dreamed of, like success, and so busy. And I was so fucking miserable. I was so burnt out. Like I was finishing on set. I remember I was doing this movie in Puerto Rico, and we would be on a night shoot. So I would get picked up at 6 p.m. and I'd work till like 5, 6 a.m., take 2 hours sleep, 3 hours sleep, find a local doctor to give me like an IV, work all day, get picked up again, which my mind started tricking me thinking like, oh yeah, I'm crushing it, I'm hacking it. I was struggling. Like it was too much. And so it's finding that balance of like success on the outside, but success on the inside as well. So I'm trying to say, you know, it's a cliche thing, but the power of saying no. And there's things I've said no to that, you know, I've definitely, you know, looking back, it's like, oh shit. There's a couple of companies that offered me advisory roles in the early days, and I said no, and God, I would have been, you know, flying right now.
Without you putting money in, they were going to give you advice.
Without me putting money in. But I don't want to be that guy either. Because that's the thing, I'm sure for you is like...
you start saying yes to everything, you look like a fucking asshole.
Well, you look like an asshole, but you're also just, it's just a lack of integrity, because you're leading someone down a path that you can't deliver. And I can't get on another 5 calls a week to try and help a startup. You know, I can't do it. That might happen, you know, we sell Caliwater, hopefully, we move on to something else. And, you know, if it frees up some time, then great. But otherwise, at the moment, for me, it makes more sense to just invest, because then there's less expectations.
For everyone listening, when you get advisory shares in a private sector company like this, in addition to the shares you would get by putting money in, you get other stock as well. So say something had a $10 million valuation and you put 50 grand in, you would normally get 50 grand of shares. But if you're on the advisory board, maybe you get 150 grand of shares, but you gotta have deliverables associated with that. And I love your philosophy right there, man. I do the exact same shit. I do not want to be on your advisory board if there's nothing I could bring of value to the table. Now, I have one Life brand out in Philadelphia. They're gonna start going and selling to insurance companies. I'm your fucking guy. I will make introductions. I will advise. There's a lot of shit I could do there. Well worth every advisory share point I have on this. But others ask me to be their advisory board, and it's like, dude, what do you think I'm going to do for you? And sometimes I could tell they want to access my network. They might think I'm going to get Bob to do a sponsorship for them, or they think I'm going to get them on a meeting with Aaron. I just say this shit. Don't put me on your advisory board for that shit. As an early investor, I'm an early investor. I'll make those introductions if I'm able to make them, but fuck that. I'm not leveraging people.
Well, I think it's like any relationship, right? Personal, professional. If you're transparent from the get-go, there's less of a gray area. So just saying, you know, what you can and can't do, and what you're up for doing and what you're not up for doing.
Isn't it interesting though too? Sometimes founders are so I don't know, almost naive to like, they think all these celebrities are running around writing $2 million checks for private venture fucking companies, and they're not. They're maybe throwing a 50 grand here, 100 grand there, and I don't give a fuck what they're worth. No one's throwing 7-figure checks randomly at freaking shots in the dark. Yeah, I mean, from what I've seen at least.
No, because I mean, look, most on the talent side, especially, I think, look, that's where we've maybe managed to break through and do something different, is because, you know, no one's been given anything. Everyone's put money in, but we're also, these are all direct friends. Like everyone in our deck, as far as an investor of Caliwater, is either a friend of mine or a friend of Vanessa's. You know, it's all that way. So we've not had the, you know, business managers and stuff like that. And I love my business managers, but they're conservative, right? Like, it's like, would we advise you to put 100K or 200K into this? there's a risk.
Right.
You know, the people don't think the same, you know, so.
Well, and who are some of those celebrities? You said Gerard Butler,
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers. These guys are not worth $10 million. They're worth a lot more than that.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? A lot of celebrities, the minute a bunch of shit, are net worth. We just had Jamie Kennedy on here the other day. He's had a great career.
Yeah.
He told us his net worth is $4.5 million. You know what I mean? He can't go throw $500,000 into a deal like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just an interesting dynamic that you'll learn, because I think the general public think everyone's fucking billionaires. It's like, you know?
It's a different world for sure.
Yeah. I wanted to get a little bit of a breakdown for our audience about some of the early acting you were in the movies, and you said you got something coming up as well.
Yeah, I've got a few coming up. There's a few I did last year.
And actually, hold on, Bob Menery has entered the building. Bob, do you want to join us for a few minutes at least? Yeah, he tried to get in earlier, and the conversation was a little too sophisticated.
Look at that.
I only came in for a quick minute. That's it.
I love a good threesome.
So you're an actor?
Yeah. I'm in movies you haven't seen.
Really? What movies you been in?
He's got one coming up. That's what I want to hear about, the one coming up.
I've been I guess one I just wrapped is called Paradox. That was with Harvey Keitel and Olga Kurylenko. Nice action thriller. That will be out later this year. I have one called The Bricklayer coming out this summer. I say summer, I think the end of summer, with Aaron Eckhart and Nina Dobrev. That's good. That's like a new franchise. A few movies come out last year. I had a movie come out with Gerard Butler actually called Plane.
Yeah.
It's done very well.
Doesn't everyone love Gerard? I've never heard anyone say I hate Gerard Butler.
Everyone loves him. He's great. He's good fun.
Dude, Taken.
Yeah, I managed to keep busy, you know, but I treat it more as a hobby. I genuinely love doing it. And I think that's what gives me maybe a bit of an advantage, is to go into the projects. You know, I just did a little cameo in Orlando Bloom's new film that, you know, is currently happening in London. And it's nice to just go into it without like the feeling of like, you know, this is great, but where's my next gig? You know, because that's what we find ourselves doing with anything, whether it's business, you know, your gigs, whatever it's happening, is a lot of the time, even when we're in the moment where we really should be enjoying it, we're already thinking about, fuck, what have I got after this? Or what's coming up next? Yep. And that's not enjoyable. So I'm trying to now go into these more like, I love the business stuff, and thankfully, you know, it's doing well that I can go into these projects and, you know, enjoy it, as which I always wanted to do. And it's happening now in my 40s, which is crazy, but you know, it's...
Who's on the founding side of Caliwater? Just you and Vanessa?
Just me and Vanessa, yeah.
So if that goes, that's going to be...
We'll do pretty well, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a life... It's going to change your... lifestyle.
Yeah. And then I'm enjoying producing as well. I produced a couple of movies last year. I've got another one that we're about to start in August that I'm producing and starring in. I did one in Boston end of last year. Just co-created a TV show that's going in the UK.
Yeah, Bob's the Boston guy.
Fucking jack of all trades,
bro.
Man.
Boston, I love.
You know Ed Kane and
I
all
love
those guys?
Ed Kane. They just invested in Caliwater.
Yeah. It was who else did you do with it? Ed Kane. Who else?
Ed and Randy.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm actually going out. I'm taking mum and dad. We're going out July 3rd because Loud Luxury DJs, they're investors of ours too, and they're doing a big party on the 3rd, which is a Caliwater event in Boston.
How did you get linked up with them?
I was filming there by the Loud Luxury guys. I was filming in Boston. I was in Woburn. Yeah, and I was a bit bored, and I was there for about 3 weeks. And Joe and Andrew put me on a text with Randy, and we're like, "Oh, you guys should connect while you're in town." And you know, when I'm filming, I kind of just keep my head down because you know, I have one switch. If I'm going to go out, I'm going to go out. And I got bored. And about 2 weeks after this text thread happened, I texted and I said, "Hey guys, you around for dinner? You know, I have Saturday and Sunday off." And I went and met them for dinner, and they were just, I mean, they're salt of the earth. Yeah, and I've now been to Boston, I think probably to literally see Ed and Randy probably 5 times in the last 6 months. Like, I absolutely love that place. I love the people. I love going to cities where people love their city.
Yeah,
you know,
Boston's
being in
like
LA, you walk around and everyone's just being like, "Oh, I hate LA," and you're like, "Why are you here then? Go, leave."
Yep.
So it's nice when you go somewhere like Boston, where people are like, "Let me show you around. You got to come to this place." And I've met some incredible people there. I love, you know, the business conversations and things in Boston and cities like that because it's real. There's no like Tinder swindlers, you know, or maybe there are, but there's less of them. LA's like, you know, every other meeting is like,
no shit.
You ain't got shit.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
People have meetings, they have meetings.
So Boston I love. I really enjoyed it there. It's been fun going out there. And
So is Bob invited to the party July 3rd?
Are you going to be there?
Party?
Will you be in Boston?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah, July 3rd. Big night live.
I'll be there.
Yeah.
I'll be there all day.
There you go. We'll be having a night out then.
Oh man, yeah, we had one last night. Sorry, John.
Yeah.
I had one last night. I got a little fucking turned up last night.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's fun. But yeah, all those things, I think, it's the acting, the producing, weirdly enough, it all ties in the same. Like the way I look at Caliwater is it's a product which is like a script.
Right.
Then I've got to think who's going to tell the story.
Yep.
And who's the production team that we're going to use to tell the story. It's the same. I know it sounds madness when I say that out loud, but that's the way my mind thinks. It's the same as getting a script, reading it, being like, these people will be good playing these characters. What director should I use? What producers should I bring in to help me, package it? It's the same as
Yeah. Well, you got the right people around you. Just some of the names that came up in the first 5 minutes of this conversation, the people we know, like Nate and everybody else.
Yeah,
I mean, you
exactly.
could get,
and that's where I turn to, as I say, like I'm a fan of, not that I don't want to learn, but I grew up playing soccer football, so I use that analogy, but like I played striker. I don't want to play defense. I let a defender play defense and I stay the fuck out of his way and we work together and we're a team. It's the same in business. So I love, having people like Nate that I can fire off business questions and learn stuff like that. But at the same time, stick to what I know, and that's the creative and kind of connecting the dots.
What was one of your biggest misses? Like something you didn't invest in?
I mean, back in the day, I had access to like Uber was one of them that came across. Yeah, there was. How
did the Uber deal come across?
There was a few like that. It was kind of in a network. Troy Carter, do you know Troy Carter, and a few other people? Troy was Lady Gaga's manager at the time, and there was just a few of these deals going around. It was the very early days. Scott Roger, who's over at Maverick, there was just a few deals, and it was always like. And to be honest, the crypto world. There's a guy called Johnny Steindorf. I never forget, was trying to tell me about it. I don't know how many years now, 6-7 years ago. And I was like, this stuff makes no sense, And friends of mine put in like 50 or 100K. That was it, and they did very well. So I don't know. I guess I invest in things that I understand. It goes back to, like I said, like I like myself. Like if it's a deal that I like and I enjoy, I'll invest in it because I'm enjoying it anyway. Like if I'm going to the gym, I get it. I understand it. It's tangible. I know what the product is. The things that don't make sense where you can make real money, like the crypto and like that Bitcoin and NFT and all that stuff. I get there's massive money there. I just don't get it.
You don't understand it. Exactly. You crack me up when you brought up, you say Uber. I asked him, so I'm on my freaking LinkedIn, I put venture capitalist. I took it off now because I got it inundated with freaking pitch decks from everybody once you put that on there because people search LinkedIn for it. And you can't keep up with it. So I get all these emails coming in. I always ask myself, did one of those fucking make it big? Did one of those from a couple of years ago? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm not going to put myself through it to go look, but anyway.
So how many times are you saying no when something comes across your table?
I mean, at the moment, I would say on average, like the ones that actually make it through and filtered through, probably like 3 times a week.
Yeah.
And at the moment, it's got even harder because there are some companies that I like. If it would have been my mindset a year ago or 2 years ago, I would have said yes. I'm just generally trying to not like burn out.
Gotcha.
Because it's not, as I say, and even when I just invest and I'm treating it just as an investor, I can't help sticking my nose in. So you're finding yourself, looking up the brand's Instagram and like, guys, you should be doing this, or I want to, and then it's just more work. So I'm just trying to like level out a little bit. This year was really about like leveling out.
I got to tell you, Oliver, I thought we were going to end up talking about your acting career the whole damn time. We talked about your entrepreneurial endeavors.
That would have only been 10 minutes long. So you needed to fill an hour.
You mentioned the Grammy shit. I could ask you a million questions about that, but we're gonna bring it back to movies to end the show. We ask all of our guests this. It's always interesting when we have an actor on to see what he says. Oliver, you recommend what movie to the 2000% Raise audience?
Like anytime?
Anything
ever?
You want to recommend. It doesn't have to be your favorite. I mean, it doesn't have to be about business. Something.
My 2 favorite movies of all time, without a doubt, are Princess Bride and Goonies.
And Goonies?
Yeah, that's it. Nothing else comes close.
There you go. Princess Bride and Goonies. I do not believe either of those have been said. Thank you, Oliver.
Mate, such a pleasure.
You're the man, brother.
Pleasure to see you.
And that wraps up another episode of 2000% Raise. Thank you for listening. The best way to support our show is by leaving a rating or review on all platforms you listened on. And of course, by following, liking, or subscribing. Visit us at 2000%raise.com or at John Cerasani on TikTok and Instagram. And of course, my YouTube channel at John Cerasani's 2000% Raise. Find all the ways to follow today's guests in our show notes. Thank you for being a part of our entrepreneurial journey.